Hi everybody. I received a question from Victor. So this is a very nice question. And my answer is coming out of knowledge from the Bhagavad Gita as it is. It is explained there that there are two bodies. The gross body, which we can see, made of earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Then there's a subtle body. Subtle body means it is the mind, the intelligence, and the false ego, which envelop the soul, the self. So death means the subtle body carries the soul out of the body. And so the mind and the intellect stay intact. They do not perish. In the case of liberation, if one is out of the cycle of repeated birth and death, then that material mind and intelligence have been evaporated, purified, that the soul is free to again manifest its spiritual body, which is made of knowledge, bliss, and eternality. So when one is going through rebirth, then that soul is carried by the subtle body, and the mind and the intelligence are carrying the impressions from this life to the next life. Just like air will carry the aroma according to where it blows over. Blows over a rose garden, then it carries the rose smell. It blows over a garbage dump, it brings in those smells. So thank you, Victor, for that. The intelligence carries forward unless one is now exiting the cycle of birth and death. Another question I received is from Lefuno. Lefuno wants to know, where does God come from? So it's a very big question. My first response is that that question in and of itself has no standing when it comes to God, because God then is described as the cause of all causes. That means he has no beginning and he has no end. He is eternal, ever existing. He is the sum total of reality. There is no energies that are separate from him. He takes no support from any other source of energy except his own. And this absolute position of God is something which, as conditioned souls, conditioned by dual conditions, we cannot estimate, nor can we penetrate with our powers of perception. So to enter into the spirit of understanding God, and if he has a source and what to speak of the nature of that source, first we have to embrace the point that God is inconceivable, and that I don't have the faculties to wrap around God to then study God and say, okay, this is the source of God, or this is the end of God. So all knowledge about God and his existential position is called descending knowledge. We receive that knowledge. So the finite, with his finite means, cannot understand the infinite. But when the infinite person, with his infinite potencies, powers, can make himself known to the finite, and the infinite person is without cause, without beginning, without end. In fact, he is the cause of all that is, and we are a spark of his infinite energies. And that spark contains the qualities of the whole, but in minute quantities. So part of that minute quantity is that our minds and our powers of perception cannot understand the existence of God. So he has no beginning, he has not come into being, does not come into being. He is ever existing, primeval. and he has no other source, and that is his absolute position beyond the realm of our comprehension. Hope it satisfies you. Definitely it will challenge you, because we feel that we should be able to know, but not all things are knowable to us. Just like a child may think they know so many things, but there's so many things that are unknowable to them. For example, you take a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, they cannot conceive of how children are created. They cannot conceive of sex desire. They cannot conceive of building rockets or calculating big numbers from small numbers. So with humility we approach the subject of God, and it can be revealed to us that wonderful position of the ever-existing nature of God. Thanks, Lefuno. Hope it inspires you to investigate into the inconceivable position of God. And when you do that, that allows you to start understanding something a little extra about him, when you start from his inconceivable.